So here's a lineup of all the basic accessories here. We have the standard issue beam rifle that we saw on the Freedom Gundam from before, and this uses a fixed posed hand to hold onto the rifle. Although I suppose you could use the special hands, the posable hands, if you wanted to. Though I think the fixed posed hand is a lot stronger of a connection there. The rifle does have a peg to plug into the hand, so again, you could use both hands if you wanted to. But this works a little bit better, and looks right too. The rifle itself is pretty basic. The white piece up here has some decent channel lines if you want to take the time to do that. And we have a clear piece down here in the sight, but I painted that blue like I did with the eyes and the cameras and stuff. Otherwise, just the moving handle here, and it can peg into place on the back of the waist unit if you wanted to. So next up we have the standard issue shield that we saw in the Freedom Gundam as well. Just a color swap here. It attaches to the back of the forearm or either hand if you wanted to, on this little area in the back here. And you just kind of peg it down into place, and it sits there pretty well and folds out to lay flush against the side. And if you wanted to, you could also use the hand to hold on to the shield handle there if you wanted to, like that. And this has a multiple positional notches on it, so you can move it around wherever you want it to be or take it off completely. There are two beam saber handles that have a notch on either end so they can plug in together, and that way you have a beam saber staff. And then with the two long beam saber blades plugged in to either handle, you get a pretty cool effect. Definitely a long beam saber weapon here. We get a set of these opposable fingers with a separate thumb, a separate forefinger, and then 3 fingers here together. And these do bend in the center a little bit if you're careful. But be careful, the hands aren't the best. They are attached by a single little ball joint here and on the finger here. So these can come off quite easily and get lost because they're pretty small. There is a peg hole down in the center here for the beam saber handles to plug into. And it seems to work pretty good now. Before they didn't set too solidly, but in this kit at least, it does fit in there pretty well. And then last up on the shoulders, like I showed you in the first video, you can unplug the boomerang handle here, fold it out, and attach a beam saber blade like that, and then you have a beam saber boomerang. Again, this holds in place in the hand pretty well, and it looks nice too. I like the energized beam saber blade like that. I think it looks pretty cool, and it looks good in hand. And it's a really cool, compact, and simple weapon to store. And there's no real disadvantage to having it on the shoulders either. It stays there really well, and it looks nice, and overall it's a good quality accessory that functions well as a transforming piece of equipment. So taking a look at the Fatum 00 Subflight lifter, this is a pretty fantastic little piece of hardware. It could almost be its own separate kit, much like the Skygrasper was a couple releases ago. So it's really intricate by itself, a lot of parts and pieces and a lot of stuff going on here that's pretty amazing, especially for being a backpack and accessory. So Ben has really gone out of the way on this part of the kit to make this pretty fantastic. Here is a collapse mode. The wings fold down and the backpack folds in to be more compact and taking up less space on the backpack. You can see there's a lot of detail, a lot of color separation, just some amazing stuff going on here. All these pieces are separate pieces here, and the black showing through underneath. So there's just some amazing detail. The yellow are separate pieces on all the tips, the wings. The wings here can rotate up and down, slide up and down on a track that's inside there, and fold out and lock in place for flight mode. So this is a really sturdy connection and stays in place really well, no drooping or anything, so looks and feels fantastic. All the weapons, we have the beam cannons here on top that fold down, and the little Gatling guns or whatever these are on the edges here can rotate around and flip out as well. So a lot of great articulation, even on the foot pads here. These little heel rests can swivel up and down as well. And you can see on top here these notches where the feet plug into and latch into place and hold there really well. So Ben has pretty much thought of everything on this guy, and made it look really good, especially for having the kit still at 2,500 yen or around $35 or so US. So like I said, the wings can fold in or they can retract out, showing off more detail down there. You can see I did a lot of panel lining with a black marker here, and I think it looks pretty cool that way. You can go a little bit lighter if you want to, but I think it shows off the nice detail if it's dark like that. And on the other side, even more detail. There's two pieces of the advanced damage joint inside here that make the frame spread in and out, and it keeps it at its different angles. So there's some tension in there, so it doesn't just collapse back down and when it's halfway there. So there's a cool little piece of hardware going on the side. You can also see the track that the wings slide up and down on. Again, they can rotate around. The only problem I have is that the yellow pieces do fall off, or at least one of mine does, on the left-hand side here. It does come off pretty easily because it's clipped onto the edge. But that's more of an issue of keeping it from breaking. So if you put too much tension on there, it will fall off, but that's not a big deal, I don't think. Some more articulated pieces are here in the back with these thrusters. They can move side to side on their axis point there. And also the little wings here, the directional panels, can move up and down slightly on their hinge point. One issue that I have is something's wrong with the plastic. You can see there's kind of a gap here in between the lower and upper pieces of this kit. And that's pretty much on the right side here. And on the left side too, I guess you can see it. And it's not because anything's blocking it. I can put these pieces together by themselves outside of this part. And they still lift up like that. So maybe something's warped there or a little bit off. So I don't. Maybe I'm actually doing something wrong. I don't know. That's as good as I can get it there. And on the bottom we have this rib detail poking in from the underneath. All this black here is all a single piece that's underneath the purple here. So a very clever way to design this and have all the color separation. So just amazing attention to detail here, and a lot of parts. You know, each of these wings probably has 7 or 8 or maybe 10 pieces that it all comes together to make this thing work right and look right. To connect the backpack to the back of the mobile suit, you've got to flip up this little hidden arm here, and it comes up and it's angled down that way. And that's what plugs into the back of the Justice Gundam. And to plug this into an action stand, there's a little clipping mechanism that goes around this little part right here. So that's how this is attached to the action base that I was using earlier. Again, from the front you can see more weapons coming in from underneath the outer armor here. There's a clear piece here. I don't know if this is supposed to be painted a different color, but for right now it's just clear. And the pieces underneath here for the air intake is ribbed and ridged and everything. So a lot of good detail everywhere on this piece of equipment. So to attach a real grade Justice kit on top of the flyer here, on the bottom of the Justice Gundam's feet you can see this little notch here on the upper half. That slots into place on this here and then slides back to lock into place. Like so. So you can see it stays there pretty well. I don't know if it could go upside down with the weight of the kit because the piece that this attaches to on the foot is a separate piece, so that maybe it could pull off with too much pressure. But as you can see now, it's pretty rigid on there. Different angles, it all stays in there just fine. Alright, so here's the kit on top of the flyer. And as you can see, aside from the ankles being a little loose there, it can stay in place really well. Even upside down, you have a complete connection there. Really strong, and no reason to believe it's going to fall off anytime soon. Bandai's really done a great job of having these two guys work in tandem. From side to side, fits on there just well, stays on there. It looks fantastic. So that's pretty amazing, I think. And it's pretty cool to see that working out like that. I don't think the high-grade kits could do this. I don't have the high-grade Justice Gundam, so I don't know how well it works on it, if it does. But for this being the first time they've actually done this kind of thing with a real grade kit, they did a really good job here. Alright, so to attach the backpack to the kit, like I said before, bring your arm out here like that, and it slots into place on the black piece on the back here. So kind of a tight connection, but once you get it in there, aside from it kind of drooping down, the connection itself is really strong. That's clipped in there really well. And when it's compact like this and on the backpack, the kit can stand on its own, but that's usually by virtue of the yellow pieces touching the ground there. And it's possible to balance the backpack on the kit with the wings up in the air if you do some crazy posing out of it. Pretty much bringing it all the way forward, looking like Michael Jackson in the Billie Jean videos. So it can be done, maybe a little bit better than this, but this is how I'll be able to get it. So it's good that the wings do touch the ground when it's on a backpack like that, just to add some support for the kit. Although it is cheating by having the little yellow tips on the ground. It does look pretty good. I don't know, I kind of prefer the backpack being off of it just because I think the kit is a little too jumbled up like this. There's too much stuff to look at one time. But it does look good like that if you want to put it up on your shelf like that. So if you want to have the lifter on the backpack and have it up like this, there's a couple things you need to do first. First, you either have to take off the head or the V-fin so the cannons can go down around the ears like that. So make sure you take that off first, otherwise you might break something. But with that in place, there's a couple things you add on underneath here. It's just a little piece here which acts as a support arm and locks the arm all the way out so it doesn't slouch back down. And that goes in the gap here, and it secures the tension arm there, so that's going to be out like that. And we also have this kickstand here, which plugs into the port here that's placed on the bottom of the lifter, and this is also used as the attachment point for the action stand. So then with everything on there, you got a little monopod stand here. Does a good job of keeping the kit standing up straight. You can see that looks really good there. But if it's off center or twisted up a little bit, it can kind of cause a little bit of trouble. So make sure you center that before you let go of it. Otherwise, you might topple over and kind of twist up there. The kickstand itself has a low profile, so even from the front, you can't tell it's there too much. It might have been a little bit better if it was a clear plastic or something, but I think it works pretty well like that. That's a pretty clever idea. You know, for kits with large swords or large pieces of equipment that hangs off, like the Master Grade Unicorn Full Armor Gundam or the Master Grade Strays, it would have been kind of cool if they included these kind of things with the kits on those Master Grades, just to provide some extra support there. So maybe we'll start seeing this in other kits, this kind of little functionality here. So with the V-fin back on and looking at it from the front, we have a pretty cool silhouette. Just be careful with the cannons up here. Again, the V-fin is in the way like this. You can kind of get it around if you want to, but just, you know, be gentle when you're doing that to raise the cannons up. So I was a little wary when I first saw the real grade kit with a big backpack and stuff. After experiencing things, like I said before, with the Master Grade Stray, their huge swords, and all the stuff on the Full Armor Unicorn, I was like, I don't know how well it's going to work. That usually ends up being a mess. I think it works pretty well this way. Again, you can't do too much with it as far as being posed on the ground, but with the extra arm in place here that locks the flyer out, you can put it up on an action stand and still get some good poses out of it, I think. And they were smart to put the connection point for the action stand even with the kit attached to the flyer here. So that way the flyer is holding on the weight and not the kit itself. So definitely a good way to do this. So with the kit up on the stand, I think it looks really good. The stand holds the weight of the flyer and the main kit itself really well and attaches to the action base just fine. Really strong connection there. So the mobile suit holds onto the backpack really well. There's no sag or anything messing up the pose from the side there. It looks really fantastic. I'm really surprised about how good this works and looks together. I definitely like it a lot better with the flyer being out like this, not collapsed down and stowed away in the backpack. I think this is more interesting to look at. This is probably how I'm going to put it up on my shelf. Looks fantastic. Detail is awesome everywhere. There's just nothing wrong with this thing at all. Not that I can see anyway. So Bandit did a great job on having everything on this kit work well together. It could have easily been that the flight pack on the back didn't work as well as it does, and they could have left it at that, but they went above and beyond and designed it to work well with the mobile suits, and the end result is pretty amazing, especially for the smaller scale. So if you guys have watched my other reviews, you may know that I have a really difficult time of finishing off the review with a nice pose and a fully loaded kit. Take, for example, the Full Armor Unicorn Gundam. The last video I really wanted to come up with a decent pose of having everything on the kit and looking nice, but I couldn't do it. And doing this only took me about 10 or 15 minutes. I was able to get a lot of the stuff on the kit, and I really only wanted to kill myself about 2 or 3 times, so that's pretty much a huge improvement over the Full Armor Unicorn Gundam. And I think this is a great looking kit, all fully loaded like this. Although I don't like having the blank shoulder like that. Symmetry is a big deal, and that's looks a little silly like that, but that's just me. But everything comes together really great, looks good together. You have the rifle stowed away on the back skirt there, the shield pretty well on there, and everything looks pretty good in my mind. This would be a great way to set it up on your shelf and have it displayed like this. And if you have both the real grade Justice Gundam and the real grade Freedom Gundam, you can create a pretty cool looking scene if you have everything armed up and ready to go. So I can't think of anything really too bad to say about the kit. I've said it before, but this kit's just fantastic. So definitely spend the $35 at dginfinite.com or wherever you have to go to get this kit, to get it to your house as quickly as possible, because you are missing out if you don't build this kit. I don't care if you hate the Justice Gundam design, the Seed anime, whatever. Do yourself a favor and try it out. You probably will not be disappointed. And if you are, then I don't know what to tell you. So here's a pretty complete lineup of the real grade line so far. The only thing I'm missing is the Skygrasper, the mass production Zaku 2, and the AEUG colors of the Gundam Mark II. I really want to get the Skygrasper because I haven't got a chance to put that together yet. I want to see how well it turned out. But for the most part, the real grade line is pretty successful. Some of the earlier kits, like the Zaku and the RX-72, did have their problems, but a lot of them have been remedied since then. My favorite two so far are the Justice Gundam and the real grade Mark II, and the Strike and Freedom Gundam being pretty close behind. So you can't go too wrong with any of these kits, although, like I said before, the newer ones definitely have an advantage over the older ones. So what do you want to see next in the real grade line? What are you looking for? Number 10 is going to be the Zeta Gundam, so I'm really looking forward to that because I love the Zeta Gundam design. I'm interested in seeing how well it transforms, or even if it does, maybe they'll have 2 different kits, like a mobile suit version and the Wave Rider form, which I think might be a better option if they can't get the transformation down right. Nothing ruins a kit more than a bad transformation process. Just look at the Master Grade Victory Gundam. That kit was a complete mess, and that's my least favorite kit out of all, just because it's a complete pile of crap because of the transformation process. So maybe number 10 and 11 will be the Zeta in this different forms. although they might be able to pull off a transformation. I don't know. Bandai did say earlier, though, that they weren't going to have a transforming suit, but that could have been just a red herring to throw us off. I would love to see a Sinanju, of course, being my favorite suit design, although I kind of find that unlikely for a while. They seem to be focusing on good guy stuff right now. The only bad guy kits we got so far are the Zaku's, and I guess Atherin was a foil for Kira for a while. I think they turned out to be kind of a good guy. So, anyway, Sinanju would be cool. A high new Gundam would be cool. New Gundam would be cool. Kshatriya, we'll never see that, I don't think, but that would be nice. Unicorn Gundam may be a mess, although the Unicorn Gundam is a popular design. I would prefer, like with the Zeta, having the Destroy mode and the Unicorn mode like they did with the high grade. That might be the best way to go. I'd also like to see Rizal, Delta Plus, Delta Gundam. All this kind of grunt stuff or side story stuff is probably pretty unlikely because of the release frequency of the real grade kits. We only get 3 or 4 kits a year, so we're probably only going to see lead suits or lead foils for a long time in the real grade line. I wonder what series they'll branch out to. We only have Seed and early UC stuff right now. Will they go over to 00 or Turn A or Gundam Age? They have a ton of stuff to go to, but who knows when and if they will. The real grade line seems to be doing pretty well as far as sales go and stuff, so hopefully they'll increase production while keeping the same level of quality for each release and spread out a little bit outside of these typical Seed and UC stuff. Let's get some discussion going. So tell me what you think about the real grade line so far. Did you like my real grade Justice review? What do you want to see coming up in line from next after the Zeta Gundam? Anything you want to talk about, just put a comment down below. Let me know if you like the review. Tell me what I could do better, what I did right. I'm trying to get my traffic up, so please share this video with your friends if they don't watch my stuff so far. Please like and subscribe, share, comment. Anything you want to tell me, let me know. I won't cry too much if you're mean. Let me have it. Good things, bad things, I don't care. I'm trying to get better and get more subscribers and just to be an all-on better YouTube channeler. So thanks a lot for watching. If you want some stuff to review, let me know what you think would be good on this channel. I'm open to anything. If I can get my hands on it, I'll be happy to review it. Though I can't guarantee it'll be what you want exactly when you want it. But I'll definitely try to get some new stuff on the channel, some new content aside from Gundam kits, just so I can get stuff out there a little bit quicker. Stay tuned for the next review. I'll be having the Barnaby Brooks MG Figurized unboxing coming up probably tomorrow. Thank you, of course, to Gundam Guy for providing the kits. Head over to gginfinite.com to pre-order your own. It should be arriving here in the States this coming up week or the following week, so you should get your kit soon if you order it now. So again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more reviews, and I will see you soon.